I am calling the meeting to order at 6:03. Meeting's called to order. So, roll call. Sage Alexander is excused. Pamela Batchelor. Teresa Baxter. There you are. Iris Hammond is on the way. Susan Horowitz. Susan Jaggers. I'll just learn who you are when I'm not here anymore. Michelle Jones is excused. Danielle Cavaney is excused. Eve Lacey. Jennifer Miller. Melanie Neske.
Here.
Nettie Penman here. Rapolino. Cindy Tiger. Scott Tillian is on Zoom.
Over here,
Oh,
join
look,
up.
and there's Danielle.
Hello. We need a baby picture.
Yes.
Yeah, hold the baby up.
Yeah, we need baby pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and staff attending is Angela Brill, Britt McWilliams, Susie Hidalgo Sharing, and Eric Mason from the museum. Public invited to be heard?
Hey, Iris.
And there's Iris.
Here's your place, Iris. Oh, Jennifer, your name's so safe.
Any public invited to be heard? Thank you. Okay. And 4, corrections to the April 27th minutes. Did anybody see anything that needed to be corrected? I sent in a couple of corrections, but, so is this as amended or as is?
That is as is.
All right, motion to approve the minutes as is. I need somebody.
I motion to approve the minutes as is.
Second?
I second.
How many for approving the minutes?
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay.
Yes.
Abstain.
I didn't catch numbers, sorry, Ken.
I got 10 for, 0 against, 2 abstain, is
Thank
that
you.
right? Okay. Additions or corrections to this agenda? We're going to add item 11, shot carts. And we're going to change 11 and 12 to 12A and 12B. The new business, A, hard to hand, and B, extreme heat testing.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. And then further numbering as,
Correct. We have 13 people in the room, sorry.
so,
It would be 11,
11.
0, 2. Okay, thank you. Yep. Yep.
start to count
Yep.
and talk at the same time.
It is.
Okay, so, any questions about the additions, corrections?
If you have a printed version that you collected here, it's already corrected.
Oh.
If you printed it at home, you need to add it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Officer election. The following people have expressed interest in serving in officers because some of us are leaving. Jennifer Miller for chair. Eve Lacey for vice chair. Danielle Cavaney is going to continue as treasurer. And the secretary position is open.
Scott Tillian had suggested I might be interested in one of those roles, right, Scott?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, for secretary.
For secretary?
My penmanship's not great.
We'll tell you the font and let you know.
Okay.
All right, do we vote now?
Yes, so someone needs to make oh, I should have added that, sorry, a nomination, which is the motion, and then it needs to be
So we
seconded
nominate
and
the
voted.
entire slate?
Nope, one at a time.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I figured. Okay, one at a time.
So I need somebody to nominate Jennifer.
I nominate Jennifer to be
Do I need a second?
president.
Yes.
Second.
President, chair.
Chair.
All in
Hi,
favor?
Unless there needs to be discussion
Unless
prior
there's
to.
discussion. Does anybody really want to be chair instead? Somebody has to be voting. So, we're gonna vote. How many people for Jennifer?
Do I vote too?
Yes.
Yes.
6, 7, 8,
Run that in elementary. Always vote for yourself.
13.
That's true.
Any opposed?
It could be the one.
All right, Eve. I need a motion to nominate Eve as vice chair. So moved. Jennifer. Second,
I'll second.
Iris. In favor? Danielle, to remain as treasurer. Motion?
I motion Danielle stays treasurer.
I'll second. In favor?
I know, isn't this fun? You're very efficient, look at you go.
Danielle, you're not voting for yourself?
Sure, heck yeah.
And
mean-
secretary, Scott for secretary.
Oh.
Are
We
we?
have to motion, right?
We need a
I
motion.
motion to make Scott secretary.
And I'm sorry, your name again.
Susan.
Almost had it.
I
And second. Eddie, all in favor? Okay. And 0 opposition. All right, congratulations, everybody.
And also on that note, we should say that next meeting will be all of our term limited folks around and folks that aren't coming back, so, you, Cindy, and Susan, and Nettie, and Melanie will all be leaving us, and then new folks
But we'll all come to the meeting.
come to June.
June,
Then
yeah.
appointments, will happen at city council in June, and then those folks will be coming in July. Yep.
Somebody throw that June date to me. I mean, I know I've got it somewhere.
Oh,
I
we got
thought-
something back on the agenda.
I don't have it back.
Oh, what? You get half of a meeting.
Well, that's not how we're going to do it. No, this is the.
Oh, it's not on the back of the agenda, it's on the
Okay, me
meeting.
neither.
It's on the minutes. But it is
okay.
Juneteenth, which
June.
June 19th is the
Okay.
next meeting.
Bastille Day.
we need to,
that's the 14th.
that's
It
a
is the
city holiday.
It is the 14th.
We need to entertain
Juneteenth, because
keeping that meeting
I know that was
or
wrong.
Can we get in here?
postpone.
I don't know, I assume the card is gonna work.
Let's
Will there be
presume
alarms set up?
that
Ooh,
it-
that is a good point. I like the
Ooh,
alarm.
cool. Then we get arrested and call the cops. It's really exciting.
Museum.
Yeah.
Across the street.
Big waves of
Right
them.
there.
Okay.
But it might be busy.
Listen to the choke.
Okay, so let's continue the meeting and
Note for you guys to investigate
Yeah.
where we're gonna have it.
the bigger question is, I'm sorry, we are so getting out of order, but I think it's necessary. It is a city holiday, Juneteenth is a holiday. So it is up to you to reschedule, don't cancel, or keep it. I think we would be fine with keeping it,
Yeah, I think we
As long
should
as you
keep
can
it.
find a place to meet, yeah.
You can come to my house.
right?
Party.
Yeah,
I'll
party.
just let's maybe make things easy, I'll investigate
Champagne.
here, and then should something change, then we move
Okay.
to a different location.
Could we?
Can we go to the museum?
For the June meeting?
Sounds like it would be
Yeah,
okay.
we've got a concert that night, so the museum will be open, and they would, might have to check with Justin whether he's planning to use that as the green room.
But we could be in Kaiser D.
But yeah, because there won't be a parking space.
Okay.
So
we
yeah,
just
it'll be
formally
summer
move it?
camp.
I think so, then you
Yeah.
don't have to.
Yeah,
worry
and
about
then you don't have to
parking fees and
investigate
Space.
it or worry
It'll
about
be
it.
all set up for summer camp.
We can play resting for it.
Yeah, we did it before.
To sit in the little chairs.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I
I
could
can
sit
check with
in a
Ann,
little
because I
chair.
imagine one of the rooms would be an easy swap.
Or
worst came to worst, we could go and have it in the
Yes, I can.
office
Yes, I
upstairs
can.
and, yeah.
Right.
But I do think we should make the decision to move the meeting and location now, just so it ends up for the public.
Okay,
Yeah,
So keeping it
Motion for
June
that?
19th,
Yes,
probably at the museum.
yeah, or we'll make a decision now.
Okay.
Unless anyone is strongly opposed to having a meeting on June 19th.
of June
do we need
19th.
a motion for that?
Yes, if we're moving the meeting, we need to know the motion.
Okay, I move that we move next month's June meeting to locations to be determined
At the museum.
at the museum.
For the bar down the street.
And who seconds?
I'll second it. Is it the 19th that we're,
Yeah.
June
Okay.
19th.
okay. Can I,
Hold on just a minute, we'll vote. At museum, room to be announced.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yep.
Okay. 13,
Sorry, didn't even put that together.
no, I didn't either.
Okay.
All right, 7, Van Gogh.
Ooh.
As we all remember, we looked up 3 people last month, and they have submitted their concepts.
Concept would be the very important term.
right,
Because, as you'll recall, I guess I need to open it first. Okay. Close your eyes. I didn't put a title page on. Okay,
that's cute. That is-
so
It's real pretty. I like it.
you'll recall that we asked for concepts based upon their portfolio kinds of work. And then whichever artist you choose this evening will be the artist that we go under contract with, and that will, do revision, give feedback to, and do, some additional design tweaks or
Yeah.
addition, subtraction, etc. Scott, give me a thumbs up if you can see that, all right?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, great. Let me see if I can make it full
So
screen.
this is the woman that did the watercolor poppies that we looked at last month.
Yeah.
It feels like last year.
So, Britt, thank you very much. Worked very hard to get these mock-ups to shake out and work out, so you're looking at them on the van as best we can. Evoke what a wrap would be. Imagine working in, two-dimensional planes and trying to make this curvature look correct. So we are going to go through each of these. We're gonna look at all of them, and then we'll spend a little bit more time with each of them and spend like maybe 10 minutes doing discussion. So we're giving each artist the same amount of time. Yes.
Okay.
Just a question, will they say Longmont Museum on the side, or is that part of the art?
This is the stickum.
But the other one is what I'm talking about, the one that's written.
The bottom,
Let's
the
do
bottom
the
part
red.
of the art.
This is a part of the artwork.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, see, I can't even see
I
that,
could-
thank you.
I could-
Would you,
very
Yes.
for
clean.
us
I
elderly
couldn't either.
people that can't see that
Yes.
far, would you like to point that out? Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And again, we're gonna look at the wrap mock-up, and then we are also going to look at the artwork. So let's just we're gonna flip through each, just so everybody write down your questions,
Okay,
and then we'll discuss.
oh,
So this would be, we're gonna call it, rather than left, right, we're gonna call
driver's side.
driver's side, back, and passenger side.
Right.
So
Okay.
in this one, the driver's side, it is an image of the museum in watercolor. It's not terribly opaque at this point, but I would say is a little bit more brighter when you look at it. And then this tree imagery is intended to wrap around each of the corners. So
Nice.
then when you go to passenger side, from that back image, the tree, if you will, then wraps around. This artist did the same image on both sides,
Okay.
both driver and passenger.
Right.
But of course, it reads left to right on driver's side, and then on passenger side, it reads left to right, back to front. Right, okay, so it's not mirrored or back, you know, when you look at a museum, this is how it looks.
Are those, oh, never mind. What is the?
Can you blow up the sticker on the door so I can see that better?
So the sticker on the door is intended to be evocative of the sticker that the city would apply, not a part of the artwork.
Okay.
This lettering, if you will, though, is a part of the artwork.
Which we could say take away or leave.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then this seam, I will say, we had to scan this in-house. We lost a little bit of this right side, and the artist has a statement, which I'll read. Actually, maybe now's a good time.
Is there more for the front? On the front?
Yeah, the hood.
The hood does not, no.
I don't think so. It just stops there. Yeah.
But we could, if Eric wants to. If we feel strongly one way or the other, we could absolutely include that.
They put bushes on it. It kind of looked like it was, I know, it looks like it goes wrapping around.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, I was just teasing. It was a joke. Okay, let's go on to the next then. Oh, now I'm all zoomed in.
Oh, cool.
So
This is the
zoomed
whole-
out.
I really like the windows, the perspective.
Zoomed in and I don't
It's weird.
know.
I like that too. Yeah. And the mountains.
Okay. Maybe this is okay, sorry Scott, sorry. You guys you're watching Scott and
Yeah,
Daniel.
yeah.
Okay, so I can
They
just
don't, moving their window doesn't affect
them,
them.
okay. Okay, so now I've really boogered it.
You could try Control-0 on your keyboard.
I think that's
I'm gonna ask this.
So can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Everyone's at it.
okay. And then that's the back.
Yeah.
Are you guys still
I like
seeing the
it.
flipping?
Pretty, really like it.
And so Longmont Museum then is here as well.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Okay, artist 2, so each of the artists, as you'll recall, we said, give them the opportunity to submit 2 designs. This was the only artist that did. Britt also played around with giving a limitation, let's say border of the artwork, top and bottom, so actually like putting it within a frame of the van. And I think we all agreed that it just looked wonky. So we went back to the application of the art on the entire van.
Right.
So this is Artist 2, version 1. And in this one, you'll notice the logo is not applied, right? But it
will be.
It will be, right?
The top is white,
It will not be, it will be full wrap like this.
I mean the top, the roof.
Yeah.
And the hood again is just white?
In this conceptual juncture, yes, but at the end of the project, doesn't necessarily have to be. We
Okay.
can treat the hood.
And I have one other question.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get the Longmont Museum thing.
Yep.
Will there not be any AIPP thing or?
It's up to us, right?
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
I mean,
We-
and as appropriate, it can't be signage. But if there was some stickum that said, and I'm making this up, right?
Okay.
But something along the lines of, interested in the public art pieces in the city of Longmont, and then the QR code or something. Not that we want people like doing a QR code while driving, but something, you know, something.
Yeah, and it will be parked a lot.
I think that absolutely can be those conversations that happen after the conceptual, after we decide on an
which one.
artist.
Okay, okay, okay.
At this juncture, you have 3 artists, they are all very different.
Okay.
So you just need to decide which path you're taking, right? So this is artist 2 version 1, and that's the passenger side.
Whoa.
So different image on each, on all 3 sides.
So it's different on each.
Yeah.
So there's
And
the
the back,
wrap.
Oh.
and the back is different too.
So side one is on the left, back is the
Do it
middle.
again, do it again.
Very cool.
Right.
So that's the driver's side.
So this is one possible three-side.
Right. And then,
Very advice.
so artist number 2, version 2.
Although it looks like a balloon
Very
Right.
giant.
I think it would cause car wrecks.
There's your-
You know, people would just go,
And we could conceivably mix and match.
Okay.
I mean, and you know, even I was talking to somebody in the office about, you know, oops. Like this is a lot, but
It's
what
a
if it
lot.
was white with this in, and then the rest of it was white, and then there was a big circle with the pattern in the circle, right? Like,
Right.
it's just the concept, like this, the patterning is clearly, you know, what was chosen of this artist. How it's applied or maybe toned down a little bit, I'm just,
So like on this one, could we
sorry.
just pick, not that one, the first one?
Mhm.
Could we just pick one of the panels and have that on the whole van?
With both sides match, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I mean,
Good if that's what
you
it's on.
could, I would say that since this artist kind of depicted, if you will, I think there's a relationship happening between these 3 patterns that's intentional.
you're right.
But again, I think that that's a task force then to work on whittling it down to what.
Yeah.
Which same kind of question is like, well, you know, this design versus you mix and match this, well, I'm sure that the artist has intention for these 3 patterns to be included together, right?
Yeah.
But it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And then the third,
It looks like what?
Or a popsicle truck,
Yeah.
I like it says Bango.
What does it say?
it does say Van Gogh in the, so it's Longmont, right? And then Van Gogh is here.
I like
And
this.
so this one, it's like that.
Can you show that one again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something.
I mean, this artist obviously, I mean, the last 2, frankly, were very cognizant of this palette, right? The, right, kind of that lavender, if you will. So 3 very, very different choices, but I mean, I think true to what you selected from their portfolio. Yeah. So shall we go through one at a time, starting at the beginning?
Sure.
So I think, again, just to remind everyone of the rules of the road in art critique. If you've ever had an art critique and you remember going home and crying afterward. No, certainly talking about strengths and weaknesses, absolutely. I would say the HATE word, or, you know, the thing you absolutely cannot stand, if it's not relevant or directionally progressive for the conversation, you just keep that little love nugget to yourself. Or if you feel extremely strongly, you know, and it's something you need to tell me on the side, that's appropriate too. But yeah, but for the sake of conversation, you know, certainly strengths and weaknesses, I think is a very appropriate way to go. So, how you want to go? Just around?
Can I just ask a quick question?
Ask all the questions
Is
you
this
like.
a time for us to revisit what we want this to tell the community? Like, what is our goal? Does that play into how we pick? Like, what are we trying to communicate?
What did we ask for specifically?
Well, it's public art first, right? Promotion,
Right.
so, you know. Yes, while I pull up Barbara's message to you and read that, then I'll look up, I don't know if the call for entry is really helpful.
Yeah.
Does
No.
anybody think me rereading that is helpful?
The call for entry basically said, we don't want it to look like a what's the word I'm looking for?
A delivery truck?
Oh, well, all of those notes are from our last meeting are in the minutes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
right here. We
You
said,
look up and I will read.
it's right there.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Any text should be integrated in the design, not signage looking. No acronyms, all words should, if included, should be spelled out. The van is to be a piece of mobile public art. It should not look commercial or misconstrued for a commercial vehicle. The artist will be making decisions on whether to do single, well, whatever, but that's what it is. No acronyms, integrated design, not signage, not look commercial or be able to be misconstrued as a commercial vehicle. Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
great.
just thought it was maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
helpful.
It's mobile public art. If this were on a painting hanging in the library, it's two-dimensional. But just fancy and on wheels.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barbara says, the underlying approach for this art is to keep it stylized. However, the visually dominant turret area of the museum is painted more realistically to help generate attention and enthusiasm for the museum. This area of the artwork additionally has the greatest value contrast to emphasize it as a focal point. The intention is to bring good energy by the use of vibrant colors so that folks who view it feel lifted and lighthearted. Trees are used to handle the corners between the sides and the back of the van, and the design has consciously been worked as best as possible around existing features such as door handles and any black panels on the vehicle, hence the location of the words Longmont Museum. So she's saying that she's avoiding certain areas
Right.
where the door opens, right? Okay. The composition includes a section of historic images, including the Agricultural Heritage Center and typical archaic shelters made from brush, as seen in the museum. That's the black little
Right.
Okay.
Those are supposed to be teepees?
archaic shelters made from brush, as seen in the museum. So that would be from Front Range Rising. I think we're avoiding the
Right.
word teepee, but
Okay.
yes.
Sorry.
No, I think that's
They're very
appropriate.
different structures.
They are very different structures, yeah. All set within Longmont's terrific mountain backdrop and enhanced with sunflowers, which can be one of the more striking native plants. Thank you for the opportunity. And again, I mean, so this particular work we scanned in-house, and it's watercolor, so even right now, like, those colors aren't popping through as much. I would say, Britt, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's certainly more yellow and gold. That purple is probably a little blue, it's a little blue, I would say, compared to what the actual is.
Yeah, I think it's partially the screen.
And then there's the
Looks
screen,
different on
yeah.
them.
right?
Yeah.
So is that tree at the end of the windows, is that supposed to be the one on the corner? Or is that,
It's a different tree, I think.
This one?
yeah,
No.
And it actually kind of fit in the actual piece where it fills out a little more.
yeah, okay, all right.
And this one, she wasn't as finished as when we scanned it. There's a lot more detail.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
That was accomplished in between, so this is probably the best view.
Okay.
Is the other side the same?
It is
I
the,
can't
oops, I'm
remember.
sorry. It is the same except so
Okay.
this is what will be the new wing, right?
Oh, okay.
And this imagery was taken from the website, and Barbara and I had a conversation of how accurate, in fact, that rendering is, and I said, ish.
Yeah.
It's not built.
Right, so I think that that's expressed here, and again, reworking can happen,
Right.
right? This is,
Uh-huh.
'cause-
And can you just show the back end? Only?
that,
Okay. So those are the samples.
Is that the barn at McIntosh?
she didn't
Yeah.
say specifically,
think
but
so.
I think it is.
The
It looks like it.
agricultural.
I'm going with it.
She said Heritage Centers.
Heritage.
Agricultural Heritage Center, is that what that's called?
fine.
It
That's
is.
the barn part.
I didn't know that that's
It's on the
the
north
name.
side.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's on 66,
they have like
but the barn is.
demonstrations on the weekends usually. It's very cool.
Well, there, I thought that was a district.
So this one says Longmont Museum too. I didn't even notice that on the wrap. Would we see it or
Would we
on
see?
the back? See right there in the.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
It's on the
I
side.
think it's still, I think this is my, this is what I just think, is that it looks like she's lined it out. So I think she probably took the mock-up and was making sure that where it was in the composition isn't gonna be in where a door is. But I think that when it comes to contrast and even filling out some of the, like these details, I don't think that this would be complete, because it's all all of this is conceptual, right? So if we were like, we need more of these, you know, sunflower, if we feel like the sunflowers need more of the detail, like those are the kinds of
Okay.
comments that need filled in. And she may say no. She may say, no, those aren't my sunflowers, that's how I do sunflowers, and then, well, then that's what that is, right? But yes, I think if one of our requests was, if Longmont Museum is going to be in the portion of the van, it needs to be legible, it needs to be large enough.
Oh, right.
Those kinds
Or
of things.
darker, yeah.
And darker, yeah.
Yeah, that looked like she penciled it in and I wasn't sure. Maybe she changed her mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Since it says museum on the doors, I'd like at least on the back of the van maybe to say something about art in public places.
Yeah.
I kind of would like to see at the beginning of the agenda, there's our mission statement: to provide, manage, and promote a diverse and ongoing collection of public art for the enjoyment of the citizens of Longmont. Art in public places.
A lot of words.
That's a lot of words.
No, that's too long.
And you've got people driving behind it,
Yeah.
so it's like a safety thing too.
And it's not supposed to be an advertisement.
Or art in public places in the QR code or something.
Asterisk, we'll need to make sure that Risk signs off on those kinds of things, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think lettering is likely to be risk.
Will be somebody will wanna have their 2 cents.
the guy who gives us our seat. Don't read other people's questions.
This board has questions. Yeah.
Nettie?
I really like this because it is, it's a piece of original artwork, and I feel like it's a kind of, well, it honors the museum and the expansion of the museum, and that's a nice representation. And it's probably, in my view, more timeless than,
I'd hang it on
than
my
something
wall.
else. But I want to say something that just bothers can I say something that bothers my eye? The windows.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Keep going, Eddie, what bothers? The
Is
reflection?
Flat looking?
They don't look flat. Yeah, I don't. So, but I mean, that's like minor, but it is something that if there could be a adjustment to.
Just maybe lighter colors?
It's
She doesn't like the perspective.
if the windows are actually flat and straight, then the lines should be vertical. All the lines
Oh, I
should be.
see.
See, I like the perspective. I like it weird. I really like it a lot.
Do you?
So the ones on the bottom of the Stewart atrium is there.
I mean, I don't want them to be rigid, but
I don't care.
It might be the
I'm just
way
trying to,
You know, because the side
Is
of
it
the
the
van
way
is
the
not
van is
100%
curved?
flat. It could be that it's like,
Is it
from
taking into
different
account?
angles,
Yeah.
it looks,
Yeah.
it'll look flatter.
Okay.
But I do think that those are the, so when
I don't
we
wanna
get
get
to
in
the
the
place
weeds.
where one of the concepts
Uh-huh.
is chosen,
Okay.
those are the kinds of
Okay.
details
Yeah,
that
we don't
this
need to go
group
there.
needs to let the task force know,
Gotcha,
so
okay.
that when we go to the rework.
Yeah.
Because it could be that we ask the finalists, like, we would like to revisit this, and we'd like you to look at the windows in these ways, and maybe there's a couple of options, right?
Yeah.
Who's the task force?
We haven't made one now.
Oh, okay.
Have we?
I thought we had one.
Susan?
I thought I was on the
Yeah,
test.
Then you must be.
We did.
Yeah, I think Susan and I were supposed to
Yeah, I
do it,
think-
but
I
I
think-
kind of fell off because my life went nutty last few
Okay,
months.
I'm sorry.
It was
My question is,
I
just
need
the
to-
two of you?
yeah, there can
Okay.
only be,
Okay.
so I love how we promoted it in to the artist and the public as the Van Gogh thing. And could that be on the back end of it or something, or where the sticker is for AIPP information, whatever, and could it be included? I just think it's so catchy. And it would become the Van Gogh, you know, and particularly with that piece of art, that would be something I would want to
So
see.
you'd like to see it say Van Gogh somewhere on it?
Somewhere on it, maybe on the silo,
See, I
going
kinda-
down,
yeah.
Van Gogh.
See, I kind of think that Van Gogh isn't anything now, right? It's just a name we picked for this.
It
It's
is.
not a program, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
yeah, anything.
It's
But-
not, it's the
But
name of
it's
the van. so
the
to
name of
speak.
the van, like, is the Van Gogh gonna go come to it too? And are we, I don't know, I just like it, and I think it would be catchy, and then people would make a connection.
The pun was lost on some people.
I was, Angela, I was
I know.
being appropriate, and I didn't even bring that up, okay?
It did hurt my feelings.
Oh my God, it
I
was
like,
so bad.
How can you not get it?
I'm sorry.
But anyway, I just love that, and maybe it's a moot point, and people
It
don't
would be
think
nice
it's
if the members of the community got to say, oh, the Van Gogh went by.
right.
Oh,
I
nice.
just feel like it's a quick, easy phrase that is a
That-
great
and people
pun,
know that it
and
was
that
a museum, that
a
it's-
lot of people would get it, and if they didn't get it right away, they'd learn to get it, and
Or I could
I don't
explain,
know.
I could explain it to you.
or yeah, we could educate.
Or they Google it and they're like, wait a minute,
We
that's not
could
spelled right.
educate.
Oh,
Anyway, it's just something was
I
my opinion.
I have something,
Jennifer?
I want to speak in support of Susan's idea here. I like the idea of having the museum and the Longmont logo on the side like that. You know, when I look at the trucks going around town or vehicles and stuff, I always look to see, is it parks, is it operations, is it whatever it is.
Right.
I think it would be really fun to have museum and then underneath Van Gogh, right underneath the sticker.
Yeah. And on
That's-
top of that too, I just have to say, just even though we're not getting to the details,
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't like the other Longmont Museum thing on there, the other wording. Why do we need that? It's redundant. We've
Yeah.
got Longmont Museum.
Oh,
yeah,
on
yeah.
both sides of the
Yeah, maybe on the
van.
Putting
back.
Van Gogh
Yeah.
underneath the
Well, that's what I was
stickers,
saying,
that's
Harris,
city branding.
maybe on the
And they
back.
would have to approve that.
Well,
Yeah, but if we could put it on the back.
To be fair to all artists, when we gave them images of this van, we did not include that logo on that door.
Oh.
So as you think about the composition and the conceptual design, take that and put it in its own little bucket, because that was not considered as when the artist was looking at this, it did not in their mind think, oh, and then the logo's gonna
Okay,
go
so that makes
here.
sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
They were given this van, they did know that when I'm choosing driver's side, left to right, passenger side, left to right.
Right.
They knew where the door handles were, the railing, the bumper,
Panel.
the panel.
The lights.
They were given, they were given dimensions of all of this, but not that sticker logo. So there's that. Okay.
All right, are we, Eric?
Just a comment on the
Scott,
mountains.
somebody has to tell me when they raise their hand. What is it, Scott?
So you know the iconic view of Mount Meeker and Longs Peak, is that a goal of this, or, I mean, that's an opportunity maybe to show it's definitely Longmont because of that kind of iconic view of those peaks, but the mountains she puts on are not Longs Peak or Meeker or anything recognizable.
Yeah.
So that's just a minor thought of, that's an opportunity maybe to show it's more a Longmont view.
Okay.
It's good, I like that.
Yeah,
I think
me
that,
too.
yeah, that it would be nice to Mount Meeker with the ice trail down it and Longs Peak behind it.
So that would be one of the comments, if a rework did happen, to make sure that those peaks were very distinctive.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little more, maybe not, you know, like perfect representations, but maybe a little more,
Recognizable.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Just a thought.
Yeah, me too. That's a good idea.
Because we, even at the museum, when you go up into the turret, there's all the interpretation that you look out, and you look out directly at them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Strength again.
I know, right?
Now there.
So I know one concern that was expressed about kind of the use of the watercolor on the van is whether it will really have the same impact. I mean, it's a little hard to tell, but, you know, realizing it's going to be a vinyl wrap, and will it have quite this impact that we see on this image when it's on the actual van? And then I am a little concerned about just kind of the quality of the drafting in this artwork. It seems, you know, as was mentioned, the windows and some of the other things are, you know, the mountains are just not quite as clear as I would like.
Yeah. Well, it's abstract, but I see your point.
Yeah, but I find it very appealing.
What's the, I don't know what the proper term, rate of fade for vinyl? Because this is very light already,
Right.
sitting out in the sun 12 months a year.
I know that there is a warranty, so maybe, as I'm thinking just on the fly, that warranty period would be the same period. That it should come back as a concern of maintenance to the commission, should you want to either assess it, is it fading, yes, no, maybe, have it rewrapped, or do this process again.
Okay.
Up to you, right? Does that sound fair?
Any
Like
other-
if, on a manufacturer's front, if the manufacturer says, I will give it this amount of time, and it was years, plural.
Says here the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years.
That's what it is for the traffic boxes, I know for sure, but, I don't know how that, anyway.
Okay. Any other comments on this one? We move on to number 2.
Okay, so let's talk about version 1 and then version 2. Strengths, weaknesses?
You would notice it.
I like to say for completely different reasons, you know, because I think it obviously checks the box for looking like art. And you would notice it moving on down for sure.
Striking.
See the other side.
I also think it's kind of cool that the sides are different.
Different.
Like that's actually not that we haven't gotten to it yet, but I prefer this to the other design, just because it's, I don't know, the color palettes, the art design works. It does sort of remind me of the bathrooms in the museum that are just kind of fun and eye-catching.
I like
Yeah,
that, I
seems
like
happy.
the bigger dots better than the littler dots.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
too.
You might think it was two vans.
I agree.
That's what I was thinking, how many people will think there's two vans running around town?
I think that of all of them, that you could easily incorporate a hood component, this is absolutely the one that I think it would be easy to do,
Or even mirror the back to the front.
right?
Yeah.
It's very op art, and the
Yeah.
whole thing of
Yeah.
op art was kind of like, what am I looking at? You know, it was a two-dimensional piece that sort of kind of came out of the frame, and then was like confusing to the mind a little bit.
Can we see the three?
So, especially,
Yeah.
you know, some of it more than others is like that, but I like it a lot. I think it's
Yeah.
very distinctive,
He
but
was
I
the
do
first
think
one
that
I really liked.
it might be a little
I like this
distracting
one.
to other drivers.
Yes, that's what I think too. I
I
think
think
that's
it'll be
rare.
more distracting than
Waiting
the,
to happen.
than the
Well, op art is,
pastel, museum.
no, op art is so like, what is it, how, what am I supposed to be looking at here, you know, it has kind of a mental confusion.
Well, and it's much,
Op art does in general, not necessarily this, but it just has a little bit of that quality.
But then we would also have some lettering, the museum, Longmont Museum on it, and then maybe in one of the bubbles Van Gogh, and then the AIPP sticker. It'd be easy, I see it easily adapting to any lettering in lots of different opportunities, where it doesn't, it almost accepts it more rather than having to be so careful about placement of it.
Yeah.
Wow, we have a baby that wants to sing along.
Oh, we did one baby.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Josephine.
Josephine.
She's brand new. I know, they both are.
Wow.
She's perfect. Oh, she's happy to see you.
It's like, it's too early.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Where's Danielle's
Then we gotta
baby?
see, yeah.
I know, Danielle, hold on. I don't know how to do this.
No pressure.
Yeah, we're all waiting. Danielle's baby's probably sound asleep the first time all day. I ain't waking that way.
Oh, there's the baby. Oh, sweet.
Okay. Shall we? Oh, Angela, I try, y'all, I try.
Angela, I do have a question.
Anything, yeah.
This one doesn't show the lettering on the door.
It does not,
And how would
because
that play?
it would be however we decide for it to work. So, if we added I'm just guessing now, like a circle, because that seems appropriate to me visually, that we add a circle on the door and then the, city logo goes here, same kind of thing, we needed a white, whatever, circle probably on the back and then lettering here. I think the application, and we probably, correct me if I'm wrong, we probably include it in the design and just have it as part, so it wouldn't
so
be
it's not
adhesive on or anything like that.
I thought it was already on there, we're working around it, so.
We're gonna take what is
Okay,
on,
perfect.
off, and then wrap it, so we'll include it in the design, yeah. Okay,
Yeah. This one seems, it's like it's ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I like the play of colors and, the way we're talking, if you will, about a little bit of, you got your color theory, the way that you don't really notice this purple until you see it next to it, right? And even these overlaps, that lavender that then pops out here because of, this plays a lot with color. And then the fact that this artist is a screen printer is very apparent, so while of course this is likely a digitally born piece, it's still, as we think about original art, as we think about that, there's a lot of leaning into what this artist does in their process. I see that actually less here.
Could we see the,
Yeah.
go back to see the van? Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
So, I kinda like the waves at the bottom because doesn't the Longmont logo have waves in it?
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Or
Usually it's a little higher sometimes.
Well, but those are the kinds of things, so.
Yeah.
no, it's not. It's got more.
Okay. Other thoughts?
Okay, do we wanna go to the next one by this artist? Okay.
Version
It's
2?
this one.
I like version 2 the best. To me, it looks like pure joy. It makes me just smile. I can see if you're having a bad day in traffic and you're stuck in traffic and that's up next to you, it would make me happy.
I think it looks like a van for Dippin' Dots.
I was gonna say, I was helping my neighborhood, I'd say, oh, who's having a birthday party?
That's the inflection of the joy that I see.
I hate that.
I'm not as crazy about this side.
This one side is what I like least of all.
I don't like the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But I like your
Like
idea
yellow.
on the other side of just making it white with the big
Yeah.
circles
The first one.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
Makes me
an
dizzy.
echo of the right
Yes.
side, but instead then
That would be.
the
great.
pattern is in the dots. I don't, you know, I
Something
don't
like
know.
that, yeah, I like that.
But I think that,
That'd be better.
yeah, clear, same thing holds true, like any artist who would say, you know, here's what we would like to see, give us some versions.
The color, I
I
mean,
think I-
the use of
I
color
like the
is
color
really
scheme of number one
wonderful.
better.
Yeah, me too.
Is that what you were saying, Nettie? Color scheme?
Well, this, to me, as far as color goes, it just vibrates. It's like making my
hard
eyes
to
bounce
look
all
at.
over the place, which I like.
Like point to
Yeah.
them?
I think, I mean, I like that. It's hard. At first, when I saw this combination, I was like, I don't get that. When I see it as like all together like this, I get it. When it's on the van, I'm not sure that it works as well as a piece of artwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Are we also
No.
concerned about accessibility, because the blue and red, I think, is hard for people with color blindness? Yeah. Or the red, at least, I don't know about the blue, but red definitely is.
Mhm.
Green and red, yeah,
That's
That's a great,
red blue, I think.
that's great.
Yeah, I think green was the. So to have like the entire side of it, that kind of color might be.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Be appropriate.
Okay. Any other comments?
Could you go to the back one more time, please?
Uh-huh. This one?
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to see how it wrapped, and it works pretty well though, you've done it.
Yeah, and kudos to Britt, because imagine these are two planes in Photoshop that she stitched together at wonky angles, so.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
You know, the vinyl wrap company, when we do come up with designs, then we'll give it to them and they'll use their magical program that probably, you know, will account for every little ridge and bit, but to be very, just kudos in that direction.
Yeah.
Like, she has pointed out, like, here is where the shadow would be, right? Like, that's not a part of the design, that's Britt's mock-up, right? So these are very, very well done. And also, when we give it to the vinyl wrap company, you know, then whatever this transition will look like, they'll make it exactly
I
what
like
it'll
that you
look
took
like.
it around to where the door
Yeah,
is, I think that's nice.
it's like she does this. Very good, it's very good. All right, other
Can I see the full
comments?
3 on that one?
Yeah.
What I missed.
Just this discussion in version 2.
And I can't, that yellow really is kind of the middle, it's kind of a mustard, right?
Yeah, I really don't,
It's not
I
flavor.
don't like it.
But I wonder if it's
That,
supposed to
just
match
that
the
one color
dots
does it
of
for
the
me.
yellow.
The inside dots, I'm imagining. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this person knows a lot about color, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we see the first version?
Mhm.
Just the 3.
I like that one.
Really different.
Very different.
You know what I find so interesting is when you let the middle one here, when I look at it, I see the circles as the main thing. But in the representation of the wrapping, I see triangles, I see the in-between, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, just like in the second version on the back of the van, I just see the dots, but when you see the 3, it's like circles with straight lines.
It pulsates out, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
It's
now you
big
can
to
watch
little.
that. Good point,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
yeah. Interesting.
interesting. Wow.
Well, on the second, no, this is 2. The first version here,
Is it,
on the back of the van, could you make the image
version 1?
reduce down a bit more so you would see the circles? Yeah, and then it would, I mean, I don't know if I'd like
I
it
do too.
better, but,
And again, it's because it's square,
and it's.
and right now you're at an angle, right?
And all of these artists designed to the dimensions of the van scaled down versus designing to the dimensions of the mock-up, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Skewed is the word, right?
Yeah,
So
might
you
look
would
different
see
if
it
you-
more like the circles then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I don't dislike this. I was surprised.
Cool, all right.
So is any other comments on this whole artist on either version?
Makes me feel like I'm at the eye doctor, camera 1. Is it 1? Is it 2? Okay.
All right, this is number 3.
This really looks commercial to me.
Yeah.
It's not as arty, you know, like artsy fartsy, like we're supposed to be.
It does remind me.
Is that our mission statement?
That's
in our mission statement,
That's right.
This reminds me of the mural that we have.
It's the same arts.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
It looks a little like graffiti to me.
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah,
Which is what I mean, that's,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
which isn't a bad thing.
think this
necessarily.
one just looks commercial.
And he's got Van Gogh on there. I know.
It does,
I
I
wonder
know.
if it would encourage other graffiti artists to
I'm really,
spray paint it.
I'm not worried about that, and also I think that there is, when we say graffiti artists and we say mural artists and we think about contemporary murals, let's face it, once upon a time, we used to incriminate people for tagging and doing amazing artwork on walls, and now we pay them, right? So we need to be really conscientious
Yeah.
of art form and how it's transitioned over time, and certainly this is a local artist who is doing that and doing it very well, and we've paid them in the past to do such things. So the tagging of the van, that's really not the
Yeah.
encouraging people to tag,
I
that's
would
not
think
what we need to be worried about. Design wise though, what I don't think you can see here as well as here maybe, is just the, there are these squiggles,
Right.
squiggles. And of course the ombre fading, I'm using hair, by the way, did you know that's a little ombre? And then, so it's maybe doesn't show up quite.
I do like on
It's not
the
really
back of
ombre.
it, the door handles, it makes it look like it's a kind of
Eyes.
messed up happy face. Kind of like, I'm not sure.
That emoji.
It's a whole new emoji.
It looks
We can start a whole new emoji.
We are so funny.
So funny.
Can't unsee it.
Yeah, never, I didn't see that ever.
Okay, now I know, that's all I can say.
Yeah, there's no one seeing it.
I'm just gonna flat out say, I think that this artist had an opportunity to take it further.
I think, that's a good comment.
And I don't know, if this is the way you're leaning, I would say that certainly needs to be a part of that feedback, is take it further.
That's a little boring, that's the way to
But, there are the swiggle is, swiggle here
Yeah.
too. And then there was the comment, I can't remember who made it, about the commercialism, and we asked them not to do that. So, at what point does that line start and end? I can't, something needs to be said about
Yeah.
that.
Now we can see.
It looks a little like a delivery van for
It does.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Sure.
That's what it looks like to me.
A beer delivery van.
With an emoji down here.
Like, I have beer.
Everybody's gonna be like, oh, beer.
Alright, so strengths, weaknesses, any more? I wanna make sure that every piece got ample consideration. Feel so? Alright, well, I think the easiest way to start is raise your hand if you feel that there's one of the three, I did not line them up, I'm sorry. One of the three that clearly does not, one of the four that does not belong. Can you raise your hand if you think that there is one clearly that does not belong? I would say that that's pretty much a majority. Alright, raise your hand if you, and I can't see, can you see them?
Wait a minute, what did you say? Were we voting on
Do you,
that one?
no,
No, you're just saying, of
Raise your
these
hand.
4 options, is there one that you think we can eliminate right now?
And that was what we were raising.
Or the other way of going about it is just flat out popular vote. Raise your hand for which one you think is the strongest design, and then we continue this conversation. Which certainly is the most equitable to go way about it. I can't see them, but if not everyone raised their hand that there isn't one that doesn't belong, then we need to do a popular vote. Does everybody feel comfortable raising your hand for which design of the 4 you feel the strongest?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we vote for,
I'm not.
Eliminate.
I'm trying to think how this might work.
Well, here, let me tell you how I played this out in my mind. So I played this out in my mind based on the way that we've done with selection panels. And when you go about the popular vote, what ends up happening is somebody feels uncomfortable because they're the last man standing on one of the designs.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take a popular vote with 13 people to get to the strongest design. So,
Well, I wonder if everybody can vote for 2, and then we can eliminate the 2 bottom ones, and then we can talk about the 2 that are left.
we can do it that
I
way.
have one more question.
Yeah, anything.
Can I ask Eric if he likes this one, does this represent the museum appropriately? Can I ask him that?
You can ask, yeah.
Eric,
Yeah.
do you like this piece? Would this represent the museum?
No, I think the consensus on staff is this was our least favorite.
Really?
I wasn't gonna say consensus on staff, I'm so glad you did, because staff was a little all over the place, but general consensus was this does not represent.
Oh,
really?
So they can do it. I don't know what to do.
I mean, if it's gonna be museum focused like this,
I really
you're gonna
like
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
It would.
I know.
Yeah.
Or at least feel that it's appropriate.
Well, so it seems like we could take it down to the 2 favorites pretty easily.
So maybe that's
Decide
what we
between
do, is
those.
everybody gets 2 votes. I didn't bring the Hershey's Kisses, so you have to know. 2 hands, 2 votes. You get to use your right hand one time and your left hand one time.
Okay.
Yeah, can you do that?
Okay.
I only vote for Hershey's.
Okay. Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, and here we go, let me see. And And then you're gonna tell me them. 13. Okay. So of the 4, this being number 1, raise your hand if this is one of your votes.
And this is, we're voting.
A vote for.
You get to vote 2
No,
times.
we're voting for
Your
the 2
top
that we want to
2.
talk about more.
2 top,
Okay.
there are 4 designs, you get
Just talk
2.
about it the opposite way, just a second ago, so I wanted to.
We just, so how we're going about this is you get 2 votes, a right hand and a left hand. There are 4 designs, you get to vote for 2. You do not get to use 2 votes on one. No. You get 2 votes. Yes, there will be none of this. There's this and there's this, not this.
And the 2 that get the least amount of votes will drop off.
Correct.
And the 2 with the most amount of votes, we will discuss some more.
Yes. No, good question. I jumped.
Otherwise, we have to come back.
Okay, so starting with your 2 votes right and left. Okay. This being number 1. Who's voting for this?
Well, after Eric's comment, it's kind of hard to, I mean,
That's all right.
I really like this.
Yeah, the caveat means it needs a little rework.
Yes,
Yeah, all of them need a little reworking.
Conceptually. Are we voting on this one?
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
4, 6, 7,
Did you want it?
9, 10, 11.
We got one for Scott.
Which one, Scott?
Oh, I voted with the wrong arm.
Doesn't matter. You're responsible for your votes. Okay.
The other right
All right. This being number 2, who is voting for this?
Oh, wow.
You should show these on the 3.
Any of them?
2 votes.
Okay. Number 3. Who's voting for number 3? It is.
Trying to follow instructions.
Alright, hold on, I got Jennifer, Iris, Melanie's no, Susan, Nettie, Pamela,
Teresa.
One vote for Danielle.
and Daniel. Okay? And number 4. Iris. It's alright.
No.
Hey, you raise your hand.
I think it's one.
I know, that's
No
what,
bent
there's
elbows.
always, there is. Okay, good? Yep, good, okay. So number 4 is out. Okay? And now I have to count. Okay. You count yours? It's okay, no need. 1 and 3, or 1 and 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. So we are down to this one, received 7 votes. And this one received 13 votes, which is everybody voted for this.
Do we need to vote further?
I don't think
No.
Okay, so now.
Huzzah, popular vote. No electoral college needed. So first we need a motion to move this artist forward and then
This artist, what number?
Evan
What
Colbert.
artist's
Evan Colbert.
Would you spell the last name, please?
Colbert.
Oh, Colbert.
He is a printmaker who works at a print shop. And then you have a piece of his in the shop art collection. It is near the Innovation Center. It's called Rainbow Machine. And it's, the sun and the. Okay.
Okay, so I need a motion to move forward with contracting artist Evan Colbert, including appropriate design reviews. I need a first and second.
So moved.
Oh,
I missed two.
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott.
All in favor? Do we have 2 votes over there? Against? Nothing?
Now I might have to
Okay.
show up and give
Passed
feedback to the
unanimously.
artists. Now
Hooray!
work on it more.
So,
And we have our task force, forgive me.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we
so
do.
we have a test, the task force is
Jennifer
and
and
Susan.
Susan. Okay, and ready to take notes about design considerations. Hit me.
Okay. What about this do we like and what would we wish were a little different?
Maybe we could go round robin, so we just make sure that everybody
Yeah.
gets to speak, if that's okay. You wanna start online?
Yeah, sure. Scott, what, is there anything about it that you?
Oh, share, hold on. Share. Okay, here we go.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there anything about it that you particularly like or particularly don't like?
I really love this view with the back and the side there, the waves on the bottom, larger circles. So I wouldn't change anything here, I don't think. What's the other side?
Maybe.
The-
Woo!
I love that. Makes me happy.
Pool party.
I don't know that I would say to change anything here.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Danielle, do you have an opinion?
Or if you need to stay quiet, just keep thumbs up.
No, you're good. No, I think it looks good on all sides. I just hope that we have something on the front and it's not just solid white, but that'd be my only thing.
Great.
Maybe business up front, pardon.
Okay, thank you.
Our
Jennifer?
mullet truck.
I would like to see the city logo and the sticker and so forth on it.
Okay.
I just like that idea. I would like to see the circles on the back be a little smaller so that we see circles and not the space in between them.
Yeah.
I would. But, you know, I'm not over attached to this.
Iris?
I just wanna make sure we have something on there that says art in public places, something
Yeah.
identifying us.
And Van Gogh maybe,
Possibly, yeah.
not my turn.
No, it's not.
Melanie?
I would say I agree with everything, all the suggestions that's already been said. Just one wild idea, throwing it out there, like on the wavy side, there's that band that goes straight across the middle, right, it's right at that indentation, so maybe it's not ideal, but it could be kind of a nice spot to put some wording, like straight across, but yeah, I guess I'd just like to see some options of where the final vinyls are gonna go, but otherwise I think it looks great.
Susan?
I agree with everything that was said, that, we wanna make, I guess I'm unclear, the only thing I'm unclear about it, is there a design on the hood, or is the hood white?
At present is white, and
Okay.
it sounds, at least what I've heard, it sounds like the consensus is add something.
Add, that's what I'm voicing, to make sure that maybe the, front and the back are duplicated.
Okay.
And that AIPP is represented somewhere on there, and the museum is represented, and I'd love to see Van Gogh splashed up there.
Yep.
Judy?
So wherever the city logo is, I'd prefer to see it as, look, I don't know how to express this. embedded, sort of, like
Okay.
not like cut out and then, so that
Okay.
cuts into the design.
Okay.
And, yeah, that's all.
Do you know when we say embed design? Okay.
Pamela?
Yeah, I agree with everything. That would be all that I would, all the changes I'd like to see also. So.
3 things. One, I actually really like the back the way it is. I think it's a cool composition like that.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents. Question about the city logo. On the first artist, it looked like it was sort of like light teals and light oranges. Is that going to be super clashy with the colors as they are? I'm just not sure. Like, is there?
Well,
It's
that's,
like just
that's the city logo, and that's what's on it
So,
right now.
Right now, the city logo, which is what is
Which is this.
that.
right. Yeah.
The museum has a different, in the family, but distinct logo,
Okay.
which is a half circle in just the blues and greens of the city. So we could choose whichever one we feel is a better fit. I mean, I think the city branding folks would rather us use the city logo, but.
And I think
I
that
like
the
And that's-
city
Is it
logo
added
on
on that
trucks is just the top part with whatever it is, museum operations,
Parks.
water, whatever it is, at the words at the bottom. But I'm not sure.
Yes.
It's not gonna work. The Longmont.
This might be a little clashy.
Believe it or not.
I just
Susan's
Googled
got it up.
Longmont Museum logo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I think that would look awesome somewhere in one of the bubbles.
The colors.
Uh-huh.
I also totally trust that Britt has this covered as a graphic designer.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted
Britt
to,
did it.
yeah.
Yes,
Just wanted to call it out.
excellent,
When it
excellent.
says
This is
large
great.
circles.
I read
Alright,
Britt's
so I
work.
recognize that
Yeah.
you guys are probably not seeing the combination of web page and this, right? Because I'm
No.
not smart enough to do, oh, no, wait, I do know how to do that. I do know how to do it, give me some credit.
Entire screen. The full screen.
And then they see themselves, hey, you see
Yeah,
yourself,
we're
there
good.
you are. Alright, so I get, right, like,
Yeah.
That
it's a
logo
little
is
clashy.
perfect.
It is,
Longmont
yeah,
Museum.
Right,
so,
Color
you know,
powers.
don't use it.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of the same
right,
classy.
okay.
Yeah,
Get the
yeah.
images.
Cool.
Okay, cool. And then just the third thing I would say is, just reiterating the accessibility stuff, because there's a lot of those colors in here too.
And that is the kind of stuff that I think that Brack probably would be our go-to question and answer about accessibility, because he's a graphic designer and is also colorblind.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect. But as for making changes, like, I don't know.
And I'm also not an expert, but just something to be aware of, because if it's on that huge surface,
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of an impact that has on somebody who.
especially as like driving, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
so that would be the
exactly.
question.
And
I
so
think
I
it kinda
understand
freaks it
that
out.
I'm not, also not an expert, but people with the
They see it in a different.
They see it in a different color.
red, green, or blue, yellow, or whatever it is, they see, it's not just gray. They see different colors, but they're way more muted, and they're just not what we would call red or green, blue.
Right.
I know when you see red, I think shows up as green most of the time, but I see
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah. So,
Just didn't know if like the city or the state had any sort of, I don't know. We have it at work, so.
Sure, no,
Is that your mind?
yeah,
Yeah, can't remember if we have any colorblind glasses.
I think we might.
Oh, wow.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Cool.
and Teresa,
I have nothing more to add. I think it's all been wonderful conversation.
Susan?
Just have 2 things. Really interested to see, it's all on you now. We can have
No pressure.
I'm interested to see that. I wouldn't make any other changes. I love the term Van Gogh. I don't like for having it here, because to me what that does is it says, oh, what is this Van Gogh? what is it? Is it art? And are you gonna open your doors? We're gonna do some art class, or what is it? And the reality is nothing. That's my only concern with putting
It's the
Van Gogh
van.
on there.
It's
It's
the
the
van.
van.
Go.
Now, if you wanna get a vanity plate that says Van Gogh, that'd be Like somehow I got real
That's the way you present it.
Incredible.
And my van is gonna say on the license plate.
You get a license plate
Go
holder.
underneath.
This is Longmont Museum Van Gogh.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my only, that's why I don't like the term "to be on the van," because I think it indicates something that will set an expectation for something that doesn't exist.
No, sure, that makes sense.
Can I feed into that a little bit? I think it would be in the way that you present the two words. So if you did van ... and then underneath it go, I don't know.
I think we can play with
Like
it
it,
one way or
yeah,
another.
that maybe, so that it's not just Van Gogh.
I should say,
But
Art and Public Places Van Gogh, or Longmont Museum Van Gogh, or something like that, so that you,
The other thing that I just noticed is this artist didn't sign it. Versus like the other artists put their little signatures, so does the artist need to have a signature plate? And then in such place is this lettering or graphic treatment with or without, however it works out, you know, is that in that same place? Like, does it have like a label section at the bottom, like we would for any other piece of artwork? I don't know the answer, and I think that that's what we're gonna end up playing with and then bringing it back to you. Because once this conceptual project then goes into final project, then you'll receive, you know, what the finals are looking like to bless it and check it off the box, right? Okay, so we'll do that.
I don't have anything to add. Alright, I like that he should sign it. Maybe he was just waiting for it to be finished.
Probably.
I like this, but I wish that, personal preferences, I wish that the yellow side was a little less vibrant because the other side, the passenger side, is backed up on white. But you don't see the two sides at the same time, so.
Never.
That could just be,
Never.
that could just be me.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree that I would like to see the circles on the, if you even had just a little bit more circles, you would still see the triangular centers in between.
Okay.
But yeah. So do you have good notes on?
I think I have sufficient notes. Eric, Susie, additions?
No,
Comments?
I would like to see Van Gogh and Art on Public Places on it somewhere. It's gonna say museum on the door.
I selfishly want art and public places on it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah, I'm biased. All right,
Did we pay half for it?
what's that?
Did we pay half of the cost of the van?
Okay.
And the museum paid the other half, did we
And, you know,
something like that?
we contributed,
We contributed.
and we're all, let me just say, in the past couple of weeks, art and public places has pretty much taken up a little bit of residence in the van, so we
Yeah,
use
have used it.
we use it a lot, but I mean, you'll see this thing parked at Lowe's on the regular, you know, I mean, you're gonna see it around town. And then the other piece is, you know, during the summertime, we have it parked at the museum most of the time. During the summertime, it'll go and be stored over at Fleet. But, you know, if there's a program in the park or something along those lines, when it goes to Day of the Dead and we're moving tents and around and things like that. Like it's when I say it's gonna be visible, not because, oh my God, it's visible, but like, it's out in the world.
Be
Right.
doing.
It's out in the world, yeah. So,
I think there's a good place, show it back again. There's a good place right at the top of the back doors. That would be good for wordage.
Yeah.
Of some
I
Art and Public Places, Van Gogh,
When you park
wants to do one, something, whatever.
And the artist may
The
have
task force
a
can
lot of
decide.
food.
When you park it at the museum, you could park it different ways.
We could.
I'm sure the
Trick everybody.
Both
Oh gosh, they have
It
two
wants to see how many
vans.
people think we have two vans.
Look at them go with those vans.
All right, well, I hate to spoil the party, but we spent a good amount of time on
Yeah,
this,
we need to
which
move on.
means that y'all hold on to your hats.
Okay, we're ready.
You ready? Okay, let's rock and roll. So any other things though?
Yeah,
before we move
anything
on?
else?
Well, done.
All right, Fox Meadows update, we did the installation today, we saw the movie earlier. I was there for some of it, it looked good. That's not it, there's not a big lake there.
It's in the back of the truck.
That must have been quite a thing driving across.
I was surprised that the elk had color on it, but
Yeah.
the people I was talking to on the side of the road that lived in the area just loved it, and I said, it's a surprise, but it's a nice surprise. They're really good colors for sort of a natural landscape that looks
Right.
good.
It's funny because I'd forgotten that or didn't know it actually looks.
And we're supposed to be there at 9:30, right?
You
Angela?
are, because you're helping set
Yep.
the tables.
Yep,
But
Or
the-
bananas.
The dedication starts at 10.
right.
So you can see that's from the west. And there it is.
Is that-
It's quite grand. It's a big old piece of work, but it's big.
Very
And I
cool.
think that when the trees around it grow, it's gonna be really gorgeous, it's gonna be really a statement.
So that's looking south.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
This will all be native grasses that eventually will grow up, and then there's trees.
He's looking toward, like the playground, where, and it's a huge playground too, it looks really nice.
And take a picture
It's a
of it.
huge park.
It is a big park. Yep, so, Saturday, 10 to noon, bocce ball and dedication the park openings, remarks start at 10:05. The dedication piece will probably be closer to about 10:20 where the last part to go. And there's gonna be all sorts of activities and snacks and fun, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody from the neighborhood I talked to were very excited about it.
Cool.
And the fence comes down tomorrow morning, so technically it will be open to the public tomorrow morning.
And the parking is very suburban. There's traffic circles all the way around it, so you need to, if you can't walk or bike there, you need to plan to park a little bit away so you can walk in.
Or the middle school is to the north, and that's got a good sized parking lot, and you could walk half a mile, maybe, not too far.
You just have to cross 9th. That's
You
the
do have to
only
cross
problem.
9th, and there is
Just
not
listed.
a crosswalk there.
There's a stoplight though.
There is a stoplight.
Oh, there
Yeah,
is.
there is a crosswalk.
If you're walking down Deerwood,
Yeah.
there's a stoplight right there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there is a crosswalk. I mean, it's not with yellow signs, but you can
Right.
push the button and cross it. It's just you have to cross 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood,
Yes.
Okey doke.
hence neighborhood park. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments on that? Number 9, art on the move. We have successfully deinstalled the 2 pieces, the robot and the totem piece on fourth, and reinstalled butterflies within a butterfly at Kensington. Isn't it butterfly within butterfly?
Butterflies, plural, within a butterfly singular.
Okay.
What did I put?
At Kensington, and I drive by there all the time. It's really nice, you can see it. It's not as easy when it gets dark, but hey, we should put lights on it. And do you have pictures?
I do. I'll try and send some to myself real quick.
Angela spoke with the independent Longmont Herald writer about Art on the Move. So, have you seen it?
I have not, but I expect it.
Okay. The 2D task force, the Art on the Move two-dimensional task force, convened Tuesday and will be making suggestions for the artist call for entry.
Okay.
Which I think we came up with some good spots.
And how many spots do we have for it?
I think we landed on either 3 artists or 2 artists.
Okay.
And we're talking at where? Senior Center?
At the senior center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I wrote that down somewhere, I didn't make it here. Okay, any questions on Art on the Move? Number 10, History Under Wraps.
When Britt's not working on Van Gogh, she's working on History Under Wraps, and those files are, how big do you think those files are? Couple hundreds of meg.
Very public.
They keep crashing her computer. So we're working. Is that a nice way of saying it? But it's coming along.
You never sent me the list of sites.
Okay. Ask them to do the list.
Okay,
So we're about
so-
40% done on that.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
On history under wraps, at some point we need to do description,
Yes.
right? I can't remember where we were with that.
I haven't seen.
Okay,
But
later.
task force who wants to write descriptions. I have Eric's book, I have Paula Fitzgerald's book, which probably won't be as helpful. There's a couple other books that could be helpful for some of the content for those individuals, so I'll just send out an email to everyone. Scott, you're on that one.
I think I have every book
Yeah,
on this one.
okay, and then we can just divide and conquer, anybody who wants to write. Yes, thank you for the nudge on that.
So, and we have sites, how many
Yes.
did we decide on? 6, 8?
No, there's 11,
11.
because Britt was able to make the image of the the nitrate plate that's frozen. She was able to maneuver and work with that.
Good job, thank you, Britt.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
Really nice.
So, and they're all over Longmont.
Yeah.
They're all over.
And so have we matched up, or like, as part of this, you said there's 11, do we
Yes.
know what's gonna be where?
Yes, and Cindy just reminded me to send you the list of sites, which I will do.
Okay. Anything else about that? Looking forward to that.
I know, we've kind of got a lot of things in motion, don't we?
Number 11, shock art.
Speaking of things in motion.
So, submission entry for the artists is slated to close this Sunday, the 18th. We'll gauge how many entries we receive and consider extending the date if need be. Right now, there are how many entries? 7.
Whoa.
8.
That's not
I
very
think a couple
much.
more came in today.
It's
A
low.
little less.
Yeah.
We're earlier than we usually are, though.
We've
All
already
right.
extended the date a little bit, but we can do it longer if we want. We will continue to ask the communications team and other organizations to share our social media about this and other things. Another targeted email went out, and artists are notorious for waiting until the last minute, which we learn every year.
Yes.
That's the nice way of saying that, by the way.
So what we should say
The,
is, the deadline's definitely Tuesday, and we'll let them bring it in Wednesday.
Like you, co-pilot.
The social
So-
media stuff has been great, though. I've
Thank
been
you.
seeing all of
See
it,
it on Facebook.
and I like
Yeah, I've seen
them,
the
and I
video.
share
I'm
them.
shocked. Did you like the video?
Yes.
The little,
Yes,
Checkered one?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
and it
So
said
anyway.
do,
Yeah,
as
it
in
was-
DUE.
Wow.
No?
It was do. But they were great. They were really nice. They were really uplifting and
Okay,
caught your
I'm
eye.
trying, but it is not my favorite.
Okay, we're going to need volunteers for community voting events at Old Town Marketplace on Saturday, June 7th and Saturday, June 14th. The sign-up sheet for dates and times will go out closer to the event.
So just put them on your calendar if you're gonna be.
The 7th and the 14th, it's an easy game, you sit there, you tell people to vote, you know,
It's
tell them
fun.
what we do and how
It
great it
is fun. I can do it the 14th, but the 7th is my
7th and
birthday.
the 14th of June.
And so I'm actually going to the women's rugby game.
Woohoo!
Fun.
So,
In
yeah,
Denver.
there'll be, you'll
I'm just
send
gonna
out-
set up a sign up, everybody does,
Yeah.
sign up works pretty well, right?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and that'll be closer sometime in June. During
just go
voting,
away.
vote tallying signups will come out weekly on Thursdays.
Yes, that's my plan, is to go every week, we'll collect the ballots. We'll take out all of the ones that are really, really hard to read, so you don't have to worry about those. We'll package them up into hunks, and then you can come over the weekend and grab a hunk and take it home and do the tallying.
Okay, okay.
And then there'll be
So
a
it says
deadline, that's my
the
plan.
signups will come out on Thursday and they'll say, we have 15 packets.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
we have 2 packets. And then ballot packs will be at the museum, ready for pickup on Friday or Saturday or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully-
Oh, but wait, that's not gonna work out, why? Because the museum's gonna be closed. See, this is hurting my brain.
What?
We'll figure it out.
Well, we have summer camp, so we'll have folks at the front desk
Okay.
on Friday, Saturday.
Fridays. We'll figure that out. It'll be a
Okay.
sign-up thing, it's only gonna be a couple of you, and
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you'll work with me or Britt, and we'll get the exchange.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do it for 14.
Okay, any questions?
I love freedom, don't you?
Okay, so you said you have like 7 or 8 or 9 boxes so far? Do they look good?
There was one that I was like, oh no.
All black on all sides.
There may have been one year that there was 2 chipmunks and they were composed really in a funny way.
Oh, I
was
remember
like,
that year. That was the first year I was on.
and somebody pointed it, it's one of those things, like, yeah, I'm not gonna unsee that one, and we're like,
Okay.
no, they're perfectly fine.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
If we need to extend the submission time,
Yes.
will that mean that we have to move all the voting time too, or do you already have a little
I
bit
built it
slush
in.
there?
I build that in.
Yeah.
Good question.
What was the, I can't remember what we said now, but it's at the museum, where is it?
I think it's.
May 19th, 25th, so all we have to do is put out the boxes, like, right?
It doesn't
So
take any time at all.
we could extend it to like the 17th and say.
We would just shuffle that around a little
So,
bit.
new business, A.
New business, A.
Heart-to-Hand Landscaping Review Task Force. They're doing something at Roosevelt Park, they're redoing something, they're not moving Manilda or any of the other things we have there. The bike path might need to be painted or something, I don't know.
That would be
They're not,
maintenance.
yeah, they're not doing it, but the heart-to-hand bronze in front of the senior center with the little lady and the little kid, and they're gonna re-landscape around it. And so,
just to give you an idea of what is happening, this is the senior center, this is up as north, obviously. The playground is going to be updated. I think that there might have been something.
with the rose garden.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Thank you. We're great Okay, there we are. This is the senior center. The playground is definitely going to be updated. I think that there might be something that was said about the rose garden.
I think the rose garden is maintained by somebody else. I don't remember.
There's a
I
sign
wanna say
here.
veterans, but I'm
There's a
not sure.
sign of,
Yeah.
maybe it's the garden club or something.
Something like that.
So things that I know for sure. I know for sure that the playground is being updated. I know for sure that there's going to be, I'm gonna use the wrong word, agility, weight, training, equipment of some form in a shady area somewhere in here is going to be included. And then our piece is, well, is right here.
Yeah, yeah.
And presently, just Bing let me just like put myself there. There we go.
Sand.
Am I on the wrong street?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
There.
It's right.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And so, even now, that doesn't look like flowers. There's no flowers growing there. No, Nettie, no. This is a berm, and there is a plaque that is sinking into the ground. That's
Looks like a
getting taken out of there.
gravestone.
Is it one of those,
It looks like a sad, like.
Oh, okay. Is it cement or is it the brass?
It's the brass, and it's not on cement, it's just in turf, so it's sinking. But the sculpture is fun.
You know, we could take the stone from the bird bath one in Rough and Ready and take the sign off and put this sign on that
Right,
stone
you know
and
what?
put it over there.
That's a possibility.
I was asked the other day again about the sculpture that goes with that plaque
Yeah.
that we took out years and years and years ago.
It is not, well, getting the plaque off is not easy, and removing the stone costs money.
I know.
It's
The
nobody's
guy I talked to
It's
said,
one of the
me and my
invisible
buddies could go and move the stone.
It could be one of those AI things where you lift your phone and all of a sudden, here it is. But needless to say, with this piece, there's a concrete footer that is underneath us. There's a piece of flagstone that is on top, and the sculpture is very secure. It gets waxed every year, every other year. The sculpture is in fine condition. It is of my opinion, please, we're not moving the sculpture.
Right.
Sculpture is fine. But there is a landscape architect, and it is built into the price of this project to revisit the landscaping and create a new bed.
Nice.
Yeah. Irrigated and otherwise. And anybody who has any bright ideas about this being a xeriscape or water-wise or smart, the answer was told to Angela. No, it will be traditional, it will roses.
There's lawn all around it. It would be impossible not for it to get watered.
I don't know. I was like, this is a great water-wise educational component.
They'd have to change the
Parks Department
sprinkler.
was like, I know, it was intense.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, they can.
The landscape architect will be providing options for a new bed. Options. We need 2 task force members who would like to have a meeting with Angela once the design is
I'll
presented
do
to
it.
offer some feedback. This is very short term, 1 meeting commitment sometime this summer. Iris and Pamela.
And when I say provide feedback, like, that would be the extent.
No remodeling, no.
That looks good. That looks good.
I hate that color.
Yeah. Can we have yellow roses instead of red roses, please?
Yeah, it will, but it's and thank you very much to the Parks Department. They're
Yes.
funding this, right? Like, this is,
At
so,
least we're gonna get nice landscaping.
yes. And when this piece was put in, there was a bed, and it was not just turf up to.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
that's good.
It's one of my favorite pieces actually in Longmont. It's really a pretty bronze.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Okey-doke.
Okay, 12B, Extreme Heat Task Force. We are prepared to launch the Extreme Heat Bus Shelter Project. We need 2 commissioners to serve on the task force for artwork selection. All commissioners are encouraged to attend the artwork selection meetings, but we need 2 people to serve. Meetings will be over the summer, plus there's artwork review online. There will be artwork review online. Total hours about 20 to 25 hours. We need 2 people for this task force. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't quite understand.
So no, yep, and that, I'm sorry with the timing, I should have put that in. Yes, so the projects that are coming up, the bus shelter and the heat shelter is one of them. We will also have the mural for the garage
Right.
that is across from us, to the west. And then the third one that will be coming up is going to be the museum. Those are the 3 projects. So this one, I've made mistakes in the past of assigning task force before we've started projects. That's a mistake. So we're ready to launch this one. This one is the sustainability department a couple of years ago took citizen science, so number of citizens who assessed our city and found the conduit in areas of extreme heat. And so the prioritization of this project came to the top of, we would like to address some of the places where people are utilizing bus stops that don't have bus shelters and create artistic bus shelter to point to resources for extreme heat, places that you could call within the city. So it might be a bus shelter that's kind of a, an art-centric looking thing, but then there will be some interpretation in it, a QR code or otherwise that says, do you need help? Are you super hot in your house? Do you need rebates? Whatever. Like, here's your access point. So it's an attempt of utilizing and leveraging public art to point to some of the things that we can solve within the community. And then the big bad idea, right, bigger, is that there are some communities that have these different bus shelters and they're kind of all over the city. So we're gonna start with one, see how we do, and go from there. Considerations when we worked with the traffic department is obviously a shelter. We need to be careful of sheltering and like what the seating should look like. The idea of putting a green roof on there was a great idea because it creates a cooling effect, but those things have to be then managed, monitored, grown, right, maintained. So we've done all of this, the R&D has already gone into it, and we've gotten to the point where we've identified the location that will hopefully work. That's at 3rd and Martin, across from the, I'm pointing in the right direction? No. Across from one of the housing authority projects.
Okay.
And then
It's, if you're
the
familiar
cannery.
with that area,
Yeah.
it's between the gas station and the vet.
Yes.
There used to be a little house
Yes.
there, I know, because
We have
when I did the
maps.
census, I was supposed to go to this little house and it's been torn down.
Yeah.
And so I was like back and forth, I finally had to ask like 3 people, is there an address here? No, there's no house there.
And it's a giant concrete pad, right? So the goal, I'm so lost, is this is my being? Is at this time, we've identified this location, but we're gonna go ahead and get the piece made first, and then address more formal, yeah.
Oh, so it's east, okay, so it's farther down, I get, okay, yeah.
It's right, it's right.
It's literally right down here.
Yeah, yeah,
Right down.
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
On this side.
Okay, so Angela, so
Yes.
are these meetings of these number of hours, is this gonna be when will these be
It's the
starting?
selection panel, this will start, July.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that's the gas on that? Right there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna get myself like right here, I'm a Google person.
It's not too far from
I know,
the
I
sculpture
used to
pad we
be.
have there.
Ding dong.
On Rothrock, it's right, Rothrock is right.
That's where the
Yeah.
trees.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's right here, yeah. The
Oh
bus
yeah,
stop
the
is-
butterflies here, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Rothrock.
Yeah.
See where that white car is?
Yeah,
It's right on the
here's
street
the
there.
bus
That's
stop.
the bus stop right there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's no, this tree's dead, there's no shade anywhere. And if someone, and it's the regular, highly frequented bus, because in the R&D, we checked with, number of people on the line. Not that that matters, because people live everywhere. So it's maybe serving one, a limited number of people versus serving a lot of people, but those limited number of people are actually using the entire system.
And
So-
the northeast corner there, they're building a huge thing of apartments right there, where that white building is.
Yeah.
This?
No, south.
Oh, yeah, this, yes.
No, that's.
No,
Yeah, this is south.
Yeah, that's south.
South of
Your
Rogers Road is where they're building all the.
The other side,
Yes.
the other
Right
north.
there, yeah, that's there.
This.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of.
So anyway, the point is, so all of these city departments, this is an ambitious project of working with a lot of our cross-departmental, but we're taking the brains of each of these different departments and trying to put it into one project. So while not a huge project, I think when it comes to impact of public art for service, it's really important. And we've been working on it for a while, and it's also data driven, right?
right.
So
What we're looking for here
Yes.
is 2 task force members.
I'll do this. So you
well, hold on, we gotta make sure, and I don't have all my task force in front of me, but that we're also having people who haven't served on task force
Okay.
before or recently.
Susan?
Yeah,
And this might not be what you want to be in, I'm just saying, let's make sure we're spreading her out. Jennifer said yes, and Susan?
Yeah.
Okay,
But, well, Eve, do you wanna do it real bad?
No, I'm sure there'll be something else.
Well, yeah, but I've been on
I'm
quite a
wanting
few
to be
task
on the
forces.
selection,
Yeah,
community selection panel for this one.
So this, is that the same as the selection panel?
Yes.
It is a selection.
The task
It's-
force is
I've never
the
been on
selection
a
panel.
It is a-
selection panel. So
Iris wants to do it?
So hold on, raise your hand if you have while sitting on AIPP, while sitting on AIPP, not previously. I'm looking at some of you, because some of you have come from serving on a selection panel and joined AIPP, but before. So who has served on a selection panel while on AIPP? Okay.
Oh, so there's a lot of
And
people
Danielle.
that have not done it.
Okay, is there anybody who does not have their hand raised want to do this one before we go
wanna
through
do
there?
this, Iris?
Okay.
How long is it gonna go? Because, you know, I leave in beginning of November, so I don't.
Oh yeah, no, you'll be fine.
That's
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
All right, okay. I'll do it too.
Susan and Iris?
And again, we'll have, so we have 3 other projects like this coming up, right? So we have 6 more opportunities coming around.
It's just that this particular one is very involved with a lot of city departments.
The selection panel process is going to be exactly the same as
Okay.
always is. Now, the installation aspect of it and stakeholders who are gonna be sitting around the table and advising, yes.
Okay.
Like, you're right. You're right in that sense, yes. Like, we may be looking at a piece of artwork and from one aspect of it, it's completely successful from an art perspective, but for a service of our community perspective, you're right. Like, I didn't think of that. Yeah, yeah.
But it's still, I mean, selection panel is pretty straightforward and it is really fun, so.
But this is gonna have a lot of stuff until we get to the selection.
Yeah, the call for entry is ready to go.
Okay.
Like, push the button, ready to go.
So, can we do this in 5? Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
let's go, let's go.
Any
go,
other
go.
questions about that?
Thank you very much.
Council comments?
Susie, let's hear it.
Really quick, we're losing Jeff Satter, he's retiring.
Oh,
Our police chief.
Really?
Yes. Like, I'm starting to take offense. Like, we're losing all these people. Carmen Ramirez retired. Joni Marsh, our CFO, Jim Golden, recently retired.
I mean, after 45 years, we were like, sorry, buddy, we're just gonna chain you. I know, it's a lot.
It's like,
It's
it's just
true.
like spread it out.
Tony
Like
Chacon.
5 or 6 years.
Chacon too.
Sorry. Tomorrow actually is his last
Really?
day.
Tony
What's
is?
that?
Yeah.
Tony Chacon, yeah.
Jeff Satter.
Yes. And then I've heard like, you know, so, oh gosh, who's the other one? That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So it's coming. It's that age. It's like
It
a silver
is. It's
tsunami
just,
that we're gonna be losing a lot of people.
The baby boom effect.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. So we'll be on the hunt for a new police chief. Yeah, that's all.
Really fast.
No, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Yeah, and if
here.
anyone, I think it's the 28th, and so at the end of the month, he's having a retirement party. So if you want to come, reach out to me and I can send you the address.
Awesome.
So you can RSVP.
Thank you. And are you planning on being at our, the, no pressure, the park?
Saturday, yes, I will.
Okay, great.
I will,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, administrator report?
I have nothing to add.
Nothing.
I mean, there was something, but.
Commissioner comments? Anybody? About what we've been doing tonight? Melanie?
I have if you have something related to what we've been doing tonight, mine's totally left field. I just heard, I guess if anyone had went to the 4th of July party that we did last year with the drones and stuff like that. Somebody, I think at LDDA mentioned that the students that do that can potentially help the city with some drone footage, so thought it would be kind of cool to get some drones like flying around the Elk, or if there are cool public art pieces or down Main Street, it could be a really interesting way to promote the program.
Good idea.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then the students are doing it too, and they're pretty phenomenal, at least based on the show. I saw
They
last
are.
night.
They are, yeah.
Or like the museum, the renovation, stuff like that would be kind of cool. Just so random but interesting.
Maybe dedications and things like that.
Yeah.
People can't go and see
Yeah.
Are they doing the 4th of July again this year?
That's so I've been told, yeah.
Nice.
And it's gonna be,
It's gonna be what?
oh, sorry, just a little bit bigger than last, like space-wise.
Space-wise, yeah. I think more food trucks and water stations is what we were reflecting
Good,
on.
because their neighbors from the north are coming down, because they just got cut off
At
at their
Dickens
4th of
again?
July fun.
It's on, it was on the, near Second and Main, so just east of Second and Main, where Wibby's
part.
and all that, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's a
that's
good place. Yeah.
Okay, Jennifer.
I went to the Creative District reception thing.
Yay!
And it was, it was interesting. Eric, that's another Eric, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he was there and he's describing all the programs. They have quite a few interesting things going on, including all the downtown parties and events and celebrations and everything going on. And they have a calendar through the end of the year. And also be sure to go into Old Town Marketplace because it changes every couple months. And it's also quite interesting right now, so.
Yeah, their calendar, I think they're working very hard at making that fairly comprehensive, not just of events that are happening downtown within the creative district, but attempting to be a bit of the like calendar hub for local creative happenings. So if you're like, I'm bored on a Thursday, I wanna go do a thing, you can go to their calendar and that's gonna show you most of the kind of and it's a calendar that you can, if you have a creative event yourself, you can submit to. So it's kind of open.
What calendar is that?
The creative district.
Oh, they also have a call for artists for the calendar right
Oh, and that.
Yes.
If you're a creative person and you are interested in submitting your own artwork pro bono for the good of the community, there's going to be a community created calendar printed by Wren and
Wolf and Wren.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're doing it, if they are printing it or if they are organizing it. But nonetheless, if so, I will send you the other list. I'll send you that link.
They also have a call for artists to design a mural. It's gonna be one of the community painted murals. And it's gonna be the one where the artist does the outline and then people come in and paint by the numbers.
Like what Tony did.
Like what Tony did. I'm not sure where it's gonna be, but they've got that going on. And then they also have a thing where they'll provide a little canvas and you do a painting and then they're gonna auction those off and it's benefits.
Is it like what we did last year with the mountains where we had the different outlines and the different colors? And
It's
paint by number?
Yeah, it's gonna be like that.
Similar.
Oh, that's nice.
Similar to that. I'm not sure where it's going, but anyway,
I
they've
saw them over
they've
there.
got projects of public art and artist participation coming up also.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Scott, Danielle, anything? Any comments, anything to add? Okay.
Here's the baby for you.
Oh, big smile.
Oh, it's just baby. Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah, is it time?
Good job, she's so beautiful.
Thanks, this is Talia.
Congratulations.
She did great at her first meeting.
She slept all day, so I'll take it.
Well, AIPP meetings will do that to babies.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, that's everything. I need a motion to adjourn.
Or extend the meeting.
We got nothing else.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?